Dear women and gents, today I want to present you my first YouTube movie. This movie is made especially for photography beginners to show the pros and cons of buying an older pro body instead of a new one. Here in this video I want to talk about the Canon 5D, the first 5D. In the following video I want to show you the differences to an equal price camera, show you the technical features of a pro body. I also want to talk about the sensor size differences and show you the pros and cons of buying an older pro body instead of a new one, and also give you a conclusion. I want to compare this pro camera from 2005 to an up-to-date camera like the Canon 700D. Here you can see the main specs about the Canon 5D and the Canon 700D. The Canon 5D of course has a full frame sensor with 12.8 megapixels and a 9 f-points focusing system, but only one cross-type AF sensor. On the other hand, the Canon 700D has an APS-C size sensor with 18 megapixels and also a 9 f-point focusing system. But at the focusing system of the Canon 700D, there are all cross-type sensors, which means the focusing system is much better and also much quicker than the focusing system of the 5D. The maximum shutter speed of the 5D is at 1/8000th of a second and the 700D at 1/4000th of a second. This means when you shoot in very bright sunlight, the 5D of course is faster, and also would be better when you really want to freeze the motion. But this is only a pro feature and really doesn't make that much of a difference. And the Canon 5D of course has the better build quality because of the all magnesium body, which is much sturdier and much more reliable than the plastic body of the Canon 700D. But the ISO maximum is at 3200 fully extended, but you can photograph only to the ISO limit 1600 of course. At the Canon 700D you have a much sharper display, you have a touch screen, you could record full HD video, which has also a very good quality, and the ISO maximum is at 25600. So it is much higher, which is of course the new technology. And the price is approximately the same, but the Canon 5D you can't buy in the shop anymore as a new camera. You need to search on eBay and buy a second-hand one. Now we come to the sensor size differences. The Canon 5D has a full format sensor with 12.8 megapixels, while the Canon 700D has an APS-C size sensor with 18 megapixels. The area of the full format sensor is about 1800 square millimeters, while the APS-C size sensor has only a surface area of about 300 square millimeters. So the APS-C size sensor has a crop factor of 1.6. So every megapixel on the sensor of the Canon 5D has a space of 67 square millimeters, which is much bigger than on the APS-C size sensor of the 700D. This means that every pixel of the Canon 5D is 265% more bigger than the pixel of the 700D. Not only because of the bigger sensor, the 700D has also more megapixels on the smaller sensor, so every pixel gets less light. So the Canon 5D of course produces the sharper images and has better colors and also a better low light performance than the Canon 700D. On this picture you can see the scaled size differences between an APS-C size sensor on the left, which is the sensor of the 700D, and the full frame sensor of the Canon 5D on the right. So you can see that the APS-C size sensor is about 1.6 times smaller than a full frame sensor. The cons of the 5D are probably that it has no movie mode, so you can't record cool movies with your DSLR. It has no GPS, which means when you have a built-in GPS in your camera, the camera automatically saves the GPS position to every photo, so you could trace your route on your computer later on. It also has no Wi-Fi, which means with a Wi-Fi camera you could connect with your smartphone and also release the shutter from your smartphone, and you also get live view on your smartphone and could watch the pictures which you have already made with your camera. Then it has no live view, which is very useful for macro photography, where you can zoom in and really set the autofocus, the focusing very accurate. Then the 5D has no internal flash because it is meant for pro photographers, and they already have their big flashes and they don't want to use a little pop-up flash. Another con of the 5D is that you can only use EF lenses, which means you need bigger lenses which are made for full format sensors, and these are normally a bit more expensive than the other lenses, but you could also buy very good lenses from Tamron, for example, which are made for full format sensors. And then there is the focusing system. For some people it isn't an disadvantage, but for some it is, because when you are a sports photographer you need very quick and accurate focusing on a moving subject which normally the camera detects, and there it is more focusing points are better, which then have to be cross type, because the other 8 linear sensors of the Canon 5D doesn't work very accurate, and because it is a focusing system of the past. And their other newer cameras are much faster. And the focusing, and there are some guys which only need one focusing point in the middle, because they want to focus very accurate and want to tell the camera where it has to focus exactly. For example, when you are a landscape photographer or when you are a portrait photographer, where the subject isn't moving very fast. Pros of the 5D. It is very good for wide shots because of its full frame sensor, so there is no crop factor, and a 50mm lens stays a 50mm lens, while a 50mm lens on a 700D gets an 85mm lens because of the crop factor. It also has a very good low light capability because of the big sensor. It produces an amazing image quality and is very sturdy because of the all magnesium body. It is very simple to use and there are no menus which nobody needs, and it also offers a very good hand grip. If you found that video helpful, please subscribe to my channel and like this video. If you have any questions left or want to tell me some tips for improving my videos, please write into the comments section.